Alright, got some rain. It's been a couple days, and figured this would be a great time to try out the old DIY plastic tarp. So I'm sorry about the lighting on the last video. Wow, I can see far better than the camera can pick up that light. That was actually truly amazing to me to see the difference of what it looked like to me versus what it turned out to be on the camera. That green lighting was due to the light that actually is on right now, for the same reason it was on the other night. It's actually not very dark, but dark out because it's raining. But it appears this video looks a little better. So hopefully it'll turn out a little better. So I'm giving the old tarp a try in the rain. Quick setup is for sure a bonus. Something like this. I actually wore my rain jacket, this green thing here, that I bought on eBay out here. It's hard to find clothes my size that are inexpensive. Anyway, I figured out why they sold it, because it's no longer water repellent. So I was reading up on that. It's an it's a Columbia jacket, and I guess this is common knowledge, but I didn't know this. But the stuff they treat it with, if you dry the material in a dryer on medium heat for, I guess, an hour or 60 minutes or something is what they recommend, it reactivates that stuff after it kind of goes out. And so I dried it just 15 minutes to give it a shot. I had put it in the shower beforehand just to see the difference in close proximity kind of thing of the difference. It soaked through when I first wore it, right after I got it off eBay, and wasn't real happy about that. Sorry about the winking thing again. Wasn't real happy. So I was much happier after taking it out of the dryer for only 15 minutes, and it actually does a pretty good job. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in for 60 minutes on medium heat and see what happens. Let me show you what's going on with the tarp. I'm sure you can hear the rain. The mosquitoes are still out. It's amazing. I'm going to need to do something with the cordage. The paracord gives a little bit, actually gives a lot. So I'm going to have to get some other kind of cord that doesn't. I tied this tarp really tight. I mean, I've got those adjustable knots on here. I just yanked it, and it's already sagging under the weight of the water. All right, let me run you around real quick. So you can see that the tie-outs hopefully line up. Now here you can see again the pull-out that I was trying to talk to you about before. This comes right in on top, but if you were to have a tie-out here and there on the other one, pull this away from you, this actually gives you a lot more room. So the other side's going to look just like this side. And here you can see some water collecting, which kind of sucks. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I think that's because the ridge line is sagging so much. And here you can see the ridge line actually defaults off the tape. The tape actually ends right here. The ridge line is sitting on top of the plastic. So it's actually not the way I hung it. I actually hung this side first and pulled it as tight as possible. But it just, I didn't measure the tarp right or something. So I've got to put those stays on here so that thing kind of stays in the middle. It gives me a little more anchor points. But I'm not liking that water collection. I don't know if that's just the way I hung the tarp, but that's definitely going to cause some unnecessary strain that I don't think the tarp's going to want to have. Now the tie-outs would solve some of that, but I also think that that stiffer ridge line cord wouldn't sag as much. So I hope that's the case. But it's very cool outside because it's raining, so I enjoy the temperature underneath the tarp and in the hammock. So it's a little taste of sort of fall, which I, as a fat man, love. And the tarp, as expected, being plastic, is definitely resilient. It's not letting any of the water in. I don't see any holes, and I can see up through it. And I don't know if you could do that, but let me try to do that for you. It's foggy, which again I commented on before, but it's still pretty cool that I can see above it. I'm actually looking at this straight up, and you can see the light at the top of this. So it's pretty cool to be able to see through your tarp. And in the neighborhood with all the sounds and people and somebody coming up on you, I'm very glad that I can actually see out. If somebody were to come up, I'm able to see them well before they get here. So I think I'm going to hang out for a while. It's very noisy, but I don't think you can get away from that with the rain. Anything that's hitting, the rain's hitting, is noisy. But it's my back is very cool. It's not chilly. So I enjoy this already. There's some air that travels underneath, and for hammock campers, you have to build like a sleeping bag for the bottom of your hammock, so you can cut down on that. You can get more insulation, so you can cut down on that wind convection, whatever it's called, taking the heat away from you. But it feels good right now. It's actually not a bad thing. In the summer, that's what I understood other people to do too. So that'll be the last thing that I make because it's a little more complex. But so the tarp in the rain is surviving. But I got to figure this water thing out. And I'm very happy with the tent stake purchase, man. The more I think about it, just cutting stakes out of wood, that's such a great idea, but man, having 4 of these little aluminum stakes, boom, 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 just shove them right in the ground. Tying little slip knots on the end, real quick. You just attach and pull it tight, so the strain of the tarp actually pulls it tighter on the stake. Stick it right in the ground, you're done. I will replace the tie-out lines. I'm not sure if you can see the black tie-out lines that run from the edge of the tarp to the tent stake with like a highly reflective thing, because I've hit that thing already like 3 times as I've had this tarp set up with them, and something very bright. So the good news is super simple to replace. Again, there's a way you can attach a working line into a prusik loop to make a prusik knot very simply. So just pull that right off. Get a spool of highly reflective cordage. It's kind of small. I don't even need it to be that big, and that'll work just fine. And there's another store, I didn't mention the other store, Half Moon Outfitters, near where I live, and actually they've been around before both the Mass General Store and REI moved in, REI just being the recent one, and they're pretty cool. They have actually a lot more rock climbing gear, I think, and cordage, so that's what made me think of them. I'll probably go there to buy the cordage and maybe some water filters and stuff. So it's probably between them and Mass General. But and also they're right next to a Wilson 5 and Dime dollar store, so I can pick up some stupid stuff that like matches, and even I want to try to find a steel coffee mug or something like that to make the hobo stove stuff out of. I want stainless steel. So anything in there that's inexpensive that I could just kind of cannibalize and make some other equipment, that'll be a pretty cool place. And maybe even some stuff sacks or something small. I mean, just whatever. At this point, just really cheap stuff to start with. Again, I mentioned I'll just upgrade the gear as it goes, because it's just it's a lot of money to dump into something at one time. and I don't have a lot of money. So I do have some good friends that know how to build stuff, and they'll teach me. So look forward to those future adventures. All right, I'm going to hang out here in the cooler weather and some rain for a little longer and enjoy my DIY Painter's Plastic $10 tarp, keeping the rain off, enjoying the outdoors while it's raining. Oh, one more thing, sorry. One of the concerns is the cabling for the hammock actually extends beyond the tarp, so it's going to get wet at some point, and water is going to travel down this and get the hammock wet. And if you don't have a piece of cord that's in my hand right here that's hanging down, the water will travel that instead of coming down to your hammock. Another possible solution to that is if you double up carabiners. I have a carabiner up at the top near the tree straps, the webbing that's going around the light pole here and the tree on the other side. And I have a single carabiner. Well, if you double the carabiners, the water will hit one carabiner, travel to the other, and actually drop off between the two if it's set up right. So you're adding some weight to get that benefit, but 2 carabiners, they're super light. And I've got at least one more. I gave away a 4th, so I'll have to get one more and I'll have a 4th. I'll probably do that. But then as a secondary backup will be this little, this is actually called a whoopee sling, and I'll review that too. But this is actually the end of the whoopee sling that's the loose end that you would pull on to tighten it up, or loosen it up here. This is the extra rope that would make that whoopee sling very long. So, wow, I just got splash up from somewhere. Mud on my hand. Wow, where did that come from? Anyway, I want to enjoy it, find out some things I might want to change, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks.